Alrighty, hello everybody. My name is Jack McMahon. Thank you for being here today for the Fall C3 Dell Executive Leadership Team discussion. We've got a lot of great topics, a lot of great speakers, so we're really excited to have you here today. Just a quick reminder for everybody, this is a Zoom meeting, so the meeting is being recorded. Please stay on mute while the speakers are presenting. I'm not sure you're able to unmute yourselves anyway because of the way that we set it up. If you're comfortable, have your camera on. We'd love to see your smiling faces. If you have questions, feel free to put them in the Q&A or in the chat, or use the raise hand function. We want to get to every single one of your questions if we have time. And most importantly, have fun. This is going to be a really exciting event. Our C3s are always a good time, so we're really excited to present this to you and hear everything that you guys have to say. And on top of hearing what you have to say, we do send that survey out at the end. 4 lucky participants will be selected to win a $25 Amazon gift card. We really value your feedback. We want to know what you thought of today's webinar. So please let us know what you thought. That survey link will be out at the end. And in case you missed it, we did do the Dell Community Solutions Summit last Thursday. You can still get in, you can register. There's a lot of great content. It was a long event all day. We had Ed Ward be our keynote at the beginning of the event. It was really exciting, really fun to do. So if you want to check it out, you can still register and check out everything on demand. And last but not least, I know you're tired of hearing me talk and you're here for our speakers. So without further ado, let me present Rahul. He is the Senior Vice President for the Client Product Group at Dell Technologies. We've got Tom, the Vice President and General Manager of the Performance PCs portfolio at Dell, and Meghana, who's the Vice President of Product Management for Client Product Group at Dell. Without further ado, Rahul, you're up.
Thank you, Jack. And like my friend likes to say, global greetings to all of you calling from different time zones, different parts of the world, and welcome. And I wanted to start by first thanking you, our Dell client community, for the passion that you bring in collaborating, sharing your experiences, helping us with our product portfolio, helping us getting better and serving you, our customers, better. There's 5,000 of you in our client community now. I'm so excited as this community is growing, and I'm happy to be here and share with you our vision for our product portfolio. So having said that, I wanted to start by sort of recognizing the obvious, right? The world around us has completely changed overnight in the past 3 years or so. And Dell has been talking about workforce transformation and this whole idea of work being an outcome and an activity, not a place that you go to, right? That whole thing has accelerated, and we're seeing significant shifts in day-to-day work and what a workforce needs to be successful. You know, we need greater mobility. We need greater connectivity. We want to be able to collaborate with each other in new and unique ways. We want flexibility and we want security built in. And this has become even more critical to all of our businesses and all of our employees. And with all of this, end user experience continues to be very, very important. So Jack, if you don't mind, move on to the next slide. And one of the things that we're seeing is one of the biggest challenges to a productive workforce is the old technology. And we still have hundreds and hundreds of millions of old PCs out there. When I say old, more than 5 years old. And they're not meant and built for the modern workforce. They're not meant and built for the modern ways of working that we're seeing, like Zoom calls or team calls, and how we're collaborating and connecting from anywhere. And that causes slow, unreliable workflow for our employees and can be very frustrating. And this is not just about getting the job done, but how we get the job done is very important. And that's where user experience is super critical. Delivering fast, easy, and seamless experiences for our customers is what user experience is about. And if we can do that, it drives employee motivation and it drives employee engagement. And so those are some of the macro things that we're seeing. And that's informing a lot of the product decisions we're making, a lot of the investments you've seen us make in our product portfolio. So let me talk about netting this in the next slide into what we're doing in our product portfolio. So like I said, the modern workforce is very different. People are working from anywhere, anytime, and as a result, they're desiring greater mobility. They're making they're working at their desks, desk spaces at a premium. Open office trends are taking over. Hoteling has become an important part of how we work, and so embracing new designs and new form factors, whether it's more two-in-ones, thin and light products, like the Latitude 7000 series ultra light that we launched this year, or smaller desktop form factors that can be hidden in furnitures. Those are the kind of investments we're making in the design and form factor of the portfolio. Second, as I said, the makeup of the workforce has also changed. More than 50% of the workforce is now millennials and Gen Zers. Millennials, by the way, are becoming over 40 now. So, I'm at the cusp of being, I'm 5 years over millennials. So, these are people that grew up with technology in their hands. These are people that grew up with cell phones or smartphones and iPads, and they've had great experiences with these devices. And they want those same experiences in their work devices, and employee experience is super critical, as we just talked about. Also, IT departments cannot deliver on the promise of employee experience without modernizing how they deploy. Think about it, right? You've gone from hundreds of offices to hundreds of thousands of people's homes as offices, right? And so how you deploy, manage, secure, and support these devices that are now in these hundreds of thousands of homes is super critical and plays directly into employee experience and employee satisfaction. And I think we're seeing some good things emerge out of this. Many IT departments are now measuring success around employee NPS or employee Net Promoter Score. How happy is the employee with their IT experience? And that goes hand in hand with delivering innovative products, new form factors, greater mobility, employee experience around connectivity, collaboration, sustainability, and productivity. These are the things that matter to our customers, and that's what we're investing in. So let me talk about a few hero products, and I know Tom and Meghna will go a little deeper into some of these products, but I'm really excited about a couple of products that I wanted to touch on. If you haven't seen, please go to our website and check it out. Latitude 9330, first and foremost, the most mobile product in our portfolio, built for executives and sales makers and senior leaders in an organization that value mobility, but individualistic design, something that is really, really cool to carry. But they also use this not just for email and basic work functions. This is also their primary collaboration device. And so as a result, we have invested in the world's first collaboration touchpad, where you have your Zoom controls right at your fingertips built into the touchpad. It sounds simple, but imagine a world where you have 25 windows open, you're multitasking, which all of us are, and you get called on to a Zoom call on, hey, Rahul, I have a question for you. And now you're suddenly scrambling to find the window of Zoom in your 25 tabs to figure out how do you unmute yourself versus having it at your fingertips. That small difference makes a huge impact in how we collaborate. Similarly, precision users want greater mobility. We've heard from precision users, our workstation users who are creators. Think of movie makers, artists, designers, engineers, geoscientists, software developers. They want greater mobility. They want to be able to carry their systems and be as effective on the road as they are on their desk, where they have the full setup of a precision desktop. And we're doing that by enabling the world's smallest, thinnest, and most powerful 14-inch mobile workstation in the world, the Precision 5470. And that's one of my personal devices that I'm using at home. That's my productivity device, and I love it. And finally, the dual charging dock. Again, we want you to be effective at the home as much as you're in the office. So we developed this home dock. And the idea of this home dock is it only has things you want. It doesn't have things you don't want, right? You'll be able to connect to your multi-monitor setup or a single large screen monitor setup in your home. But at the same time, it has a built-in Qi charger that can charge your phone wirelessly, right? So again, giving you the power of the dock, which is simply designed, has the right ports that you need for your home use cases, but also allows you to charge your other devices that you use for personal communication at the same time. So with that, let me talk a little bit about how we're delivering on our experience. I talked about experiences being critical to how employees, work seamlessly and get their work done, right? The how is as important as the what they're working on. And we're doing that by Dell Optimizer. Dell Optimizer is a artificial intelligence and machine learning based software that understands how you're using your machine. It uses your digital DNA and then optimizes that system to really work better for you, right? And so we're doing that, and I'll sort of make the bottom real. Those are the features that it has, but let me make it real by talking about it in terms of day in the life of. So imagine you wake up at 7:45 a.m. in the morning, and if you're me, you probably wake up early, and you walk up to your machine, and your machine immediately detects your presence and welcomes you and logs you into the screen using express sign-in. That's our touchless, proximity-based sign-in experience. You get onto your machine, get on with your day, and you have a Zoom call that you have to get on at 9 a.m. With Express Connect, your Zoom call connectivity is optimized by prioritizing bandwidth for uninterrupted conferencing for your device. That's what Express Connect can do for you. And then with intelligent audio, all of the background noise gets removed, right? If you're like me, I have a dog sleeping by the door right there. Every once in a while, the postman or the UPS truck goes by, he's barking. You guys don't hear that, right? So that's what intelligent audio does for you. As we get to noon, we want to make sure that, we are out in and about and getting lunch. And if you're in the coffee shop, intelligent privacy that's built into your device and enabled by Dell Optimizer keeps your sensitive data clear. It texturizes the screen or turns off safe screen on the devices that have safe screen with onlooker detection and keeps your data secure, and it's just built into it. And as you're going from and working in the restaurant or working in the coffee shop, Express Charge continues to keep your machine fully charged, fast charges it so that you can be on and about your day as needed. And finally, Express Response intelligently looks at the applications you're using, and based on the applications, the 5 or 6 applications that you use on a regular basis, continues to keep you productive throughout your day, continues to open those applications faster and run them faster. So that's sort of the magic sauce or the secret sauce, or I call it the grandma recipe, right? Is, hey, everyone can taste and copy a recipe, but there's this sprinkling dust that the grandma has that nobody can figure it out. And my wife is still upset with me when I say, hey, it doesn't quite taste like how grandma used to make it. This is what that is. So with that, let's move to the next slide. And I talked about how we are making sure that not only are we delivering end user experiences, but we are making sure that we are delivering the right IT experiences, because one doesn't go without the other. The way we deploy with zero touch provisioning, security that's just built into what we call zero trust security, whether it's safe BIOS, whether it's safe ID for credential authentication, whether it's safe screen for your privacy screens, it's all built into the device. And modernization, management that's modern, right? Is being able to manage your devices anywhere they are, being able to give them the right software load anywhere they are, is very important. We continue to invest in it. And with predictive, proactive support, we are able to figure out your machines have an issue and get that remediated ahead of you having to call in, right? So all of that modernizes the IT experience on our devices too. And this is how you deliver sort of this end-to-end great devices, great end user experience, and great IT experience is how you deliver this modern device for a modern workforce and really drive your eNPS up with your employees. So with that, Jack, I think that's sort of my high level overarching message. Again, I want to thank you all for being here. Please ask your questions. You have the right experts on the call. Let's make this engaging. And with that, I'm going to hand it over to Tom, who's going to talk about our Performance PC portfolio.
Thank you, Rahul. I love the grandma's recipe reference. I haven't heard that before, but I get the same feedback at home as well. That's awesome. Hey, team. Again, thank you for joining. It's a pleasure. Jack, if you can go to the next slide. I have the privilege of leading three relatively unique portfolios. We're going to talk about Precision, our professional workstation line. We're going to spend a little bit of time talking about rugged. And I also lead our XPS portfolio. And what's unique about them is they're very focused on specific users and workflows. As we think about building out the Precision portfolio, the customer-led experience tenants listed here, intelligent productivity, we're building the highest performance into our devices. So think about the highest performing CPUs, the highest performing GPUs, the most expansion that you can get either in a fixed device, but also in a mobile device, multiple hard drives, memory expansion, all of that. And then in the center part here, mission critical. When you think about companies who are on their digital transformation journey, most of their mission critical applications run on professional workstations, run on Dell Precisions. Rahul mentioned, and Jack, if you could go to the next slide, Rahul mentioned creators and movie makers, but when you think across the spectrum of our industry, oil and gas, utilities, state and local, federal government, all of the talk that we have about this burgeoning amount of data that companies are harnessing to make intelligent choices. So AI, ML, data science, all of those workflows run on professional workstations, run on Dell Precision. And so in working with all of you and getting feedback on what the best portfolio is for us to deliver, Jack, if you could hit the next slide, that leads to our portfolio and the changes and enhancements that we make on an annual basis. And so this is the breadth of our mobile portfolio today. Hit the next slide. I think it's a build. We added a couple of new products this year. Rahul mentioned the new the new Performance 14-inch 5470, the highest performing 14-inch mobile workstation in the market. We also did a complete redesign of the 7000 series this year. And the best way to think about that is desktop computing in a portable package. And then, Jack, hit it one more time. But we also wanted to make sure that we were looking at these power users and super users. And the best way to think about this is think about your finance leads. Think about the folks in your organization who are doing business intelligent work, working with these very large data sets. Many of them would benefit from discrete graphics, higher CPU grades in their devices. And so we introduced this year a new entry mobile Precision, the 3470, again, to think about that continuation of performance users out of Latitude into entry mobile workstations. Maybe they don't quite need professional grade graphics yet, but we do offer that in the 3470 for those power users. Hit the next slide, Jack. I'm going to skip over the deep dives on the products, just given the lack of time, but there's a one-pager on the 3470 and the features there. The next slide should be the 5470. And again, I'm gonna have those in the package, but we're not going to deep dive them here. And then the same focus around our fixed portfolio, completely new entry in the 3000 space. And again, I think it's a build that highlights a couple of solutions here. Really proud, and based on feedback from our users, hit the next slide, actually hit the next two. For the first time in Dell Precision, we were able to bring the AMD Threadripper architecture into our portfolio. So really excited when we think about the media and entertainment space and the rendering use cases that would be able to take advantage of the performance of the Threadripper architecture. Bringing this to market in Dell Precision has been very, I don't know if I'd say widely acclaimed, but greatly appreciated from our customers. So new addition to the Precision fixed portfolio in the 7865. Hit the next slide. Rahul hit Dell Optimizer. I'm not going to deep dive on this. Many of you might recall that Dell Optimizer started with Precision, and what we've done is built the methodology or the approach out in Precision, and then cascaded it to the rest of the commercial portfolio. So taking the use cases that we've identified from all of you and the feedback from all of you, and then use that to continue to fine tune Dell Optimizer as we cascade it across the rest of the lines of business. So apologies that I'm running through it pretty quickly, but that's the Dell Precision portfolio, fixed and mobile. Just a quick shout out. We are celebrating the 25-year anniversary of Precision. Dell introduced the x86 based workstations 25 years ago. Dell introduced the first mobile workstation as well. And again, based on the feedback from all of you and the enhancements we've made to our portfolio, we've been able to get customers to vote with their dollars, and the confidence that they have in Dell Precision, where we're #1 in fixed and #1 in mobile. So excited about the 25-year anniversary of Precision. Hit the next slide. So rugged, again, hit the next slide. Sorry, hit the next one as well. Really excited about the different types of users that are using Dell Rugged. And again, similar to the conversation around Precision, think about folks who are out in the field, think about military, think about your local EMS organizations, industrial like oil and gas, folks who are in harsh environments but still need access to reliable compute capability, possibly in the rain, possibly in an environment where they're using gloves, but still have access to data and the ability to compute and also communicate. And that's really the environment where Dell Rugged thrives. Hit the next slide, Jack. And so if you look at our portfolio, we really have, I would say, 2 degrees of ruggedness. We have semi-rugged all the way up to fully rugged. And we have 2 notebooks and 2 tablets in the rugged portfolio. Again, just thinking about the unique use cases, whether or not customers want something that's smaller, possibly a little bit more portable. A tablet might make more sense, but if they have more intense application engagement, something with a keyboard and a full clamshell device might actually make more sense for that user. Hit the next slide. And as we think about it, the rugged device is one element or component in the total solution. More importantly is how those users are using the device in the field or in the manufacturing environment. And so we spend a lot of time thinking about the ecosystem as well. If a user has a tablet, they might need to put that tablet so they can engage with something else, doing inventory or something like that. And so we have shoulder straps and hand straps and harnesses and in-vehicle mounts. Again, when you think about military or ambulance services, being able to have compute in that environment, but also have it be secured is mission critical. And so we think about that end-to-end use case and make sure that we have those solutions built into our ecosystem to really enable the user to take the full advantage of that rugged device in that use case. And with that, that is Dell Precision and Rugged. Meghana, over to you.
Thank you. Thank you, Tom. Hi, everyone. Really great to be here today. My name is Meghana Patwardhan, and I run the Latitude and Optiplex, as well as our docking line of businesses. So think about everything in commercial with the exception of workstations that Tom has. I wanted to share with you, some of the trends that we have seen over the last few years and some of the research that we've done. And then based on that, what impact that has as we plan our portfolios and our roadmaps of the future. So Rahul alluded to this a little bit, but from a specific commercial latitude and Optiplex perspective, we've seen, as you all know, no surprise, a real increase in hybrid work. And what we've seen based on all of our research, and I think a lot of us are living this reality, is that people are not just working from one place anymore. They're working from 2, 3, 4 places, right? You can work from home, you can work from the office, you can work from a coffee shop, you can work from sitting in your car if you're like me and take your kids to soccer practice and then work in your car. There's multiple locations that we're all working from, and the PCs of the future and going beyond really have to adapt to that mobility that we see. There's also been a huge switch in what we used to think was emerging technology, right? Use of video conferencing, use of AI, use of 5G, all in, used to be things that we would say, hey, that's emerging technology. Well, that's not emerging anymore. That's part and parcel of our portfolio now. And it's needed for us all to do our work the way we need to. And then lastly, Rahul talked a little bit about employee experience, but I wanted to put a finer point on it. I talk to customers, every week, right? And what I hear from every one of them is the great resignation, whatever you want to call it, great resignation, quiet quitting, all of these trends are real. We're having issues retaining talent, we're having issues attracting talent. And one of the ways that we can do that is by giving them the right technology for the a lot of these Gen Zers, right? I hope there are some Gen Zers in this crowd today, but and millennials as well. I mean, I'm a millennial. I care about sustainability. I make choices. My purchasing choices are based on sustainability. How sustainable is a product? How is a company thinking about their carbon footprint, their energy use, recycled materials, things like that? And a lot of our customers are making those choices because their employees are asking these questions of them. If you can go to the next slide.
It looks like we might have lost Meghna to the internet demons. And so while she gets back on, I can cover some of this. And so we talked about this when I started off, which is, we've gone from where we work to what we do, and this is sort of the details behind it. We have changed our customer personas with significant amount of research, first time in the last 10 years, where if you look at the top line, these used to be personas pre-2022, and they were really based on where, whether it's on the go, which is a where, or a corridor, which is a where, or a desk-centric or a remote. It was all based on where we're working from. To now we've gone to what we do, which is builder, connector, specialist, producer, and builder being someone that, is, think of them as senior executives, think of them as sales leaders, think of them as people that want beautiful individualistic technology, sort of like the Latitude 9330 or the Precision 5470. But at the same time, they want great collaboration, mobility, and things like that. Connector is people that connect teams. Think of those as managers. Think of them as program managers. Think of them as people leaders, right? And these are people that want great collaboration in their devices. They also value mobility. So there's a lot of the Latitude 5000 series, 7000 series will fit in that portfolio. Specialists, it's people that do specialized work. Think of them as workstation users. So a lot of Tom's Precision portfolio will fit there. or also the ruggedized user, field workers, first responders, our specialists. And producers are people that do a particular task in a repetitive fashion, right? Whether it's an HR person or a finance person or a call center person, someone that is using an application and engaging in a particular work task and producing a work result. And a large part of our workforce is that. And so think of Latitude 3000, 5000 series, Precision 3000 series as an example, fitting in there, some of our desktops fitting in there. So with that, if you move to the next slide, Meghna talked about this, right? Latitude is all about the most intelligent, the most reliable. I would also underline this with the most secure and finally, most sustainable designs. And if you go to the next slide, it's the Latitude portfolio, right? And if you think about our portfolio, 9000 series is where we're investing in the highest end innovation with ultra premium designs. Think of this as CNC machined aluminum, the most beautiful design wrapped around the largest piece of glass, infinity bezels. This is going to be some of our lightest, smallest products. Will have the longest battery lives. Again, thinking back to that builder persona, you value mobility, you value individualistic design, you value greater battery life, you value collaboration. And then moving into our 7000 series, which is a pretty broad portfolio of 13, 14, 15-inch products, covers 2-in-1s and clamshells. Again, designed for connectors in mind. Mobility is important to them, connectivity is important to them. This is where you'll see, some of our 5G products starting to show beyond our 9000 series. You'll also see we're invested in greater speakerphone technologies, microphone technologies, better camera technologies. Going into the 5000 series, this is really for producers and connectors, right? And this is where we're hitting a certain price point. Think of this as the Swiss Army knife. You can get a little bit of everything that meets that largest part of the market. Like I said, producers, a very large segment. It's probably greater than 50% of the mix in the market. So how do we get the right tool for the producer market? And then 3000 series is really our entry product line that has great performance for a laptop user or a knowledge worker, hitting that producer space, but also targeting towards the small business, public sector use cases. So that's sort of the nutshell, our portfolio. And, we had a couple of products to deep dive in, but really, I think the key thing about the 9330 that, I wanted to touch on is some of the key experiences. 9000 series is going to be the best example of the experiences that we're bringing to life, whether it is express sign-in for your facial recognition, proximity-based detection, whether it's intelligent audio with the best AI-enabled speakers and microphones, or intelligent privacy to give you the right sort of onlooker detection, privacy features, or Wi-Fi 6E with 5G options available. So it's really the best of the best. But I talked about that touchpad and the zoom buttons on the touchpad. You can see that right there, really putting that at your fingertips. And it's only lighted up when you have zoom on the screen. If you don't have zoom, those buttons, those touchpad zoom controls go away, right? So again, being very intelligent the way we're doing this. And if you move on, I really wanted to talk about this one product, the 7330 Ultralight. And this is really taking our investments in the Latitude portfolio, doing the right things for collaboration connectivity. So you can see this as 6E, Wi-Fi 6E. You can see that we have better cameras in this. You can see we have invested in audio and speakers and all of that. But then we're wrapping it into a magnesium chassis and delivering the 13-inch that you see here is about under a kilogram. So really embracing ultra lightweight for people that value high mobility. When you have it in your backpack, you feel like your backpack is empty. The story I like to tell on this one is the first time the team bought me this product, I'm like, I picked it up in my hand. I'm like, that can't be real. That's not a real product. Is that a model? Did you get the weight wrong? And that was one of the prototypes. So literally you feel like, it's as light as air, right? And that's the value of this product for highly mobile users, while not sacrificing any of the other experiences that you want to get your work done in today's world. So if you move on, that was it on the portfolio. And Jack, I think at this point, Meghna is back on. And Meghna, if you can come back on video, let's open it up for QA. We've been answering quite a few questions that have come up in the Q&A already. But let's see if we have other questions that the team has that we can answer here.
And so I want to apologize, guys. We've been having storms in the area. My internet just died while I'm in the middle of a webinar. So we all are feeling you're feeling my pain of remote work right here on this 152-person webinar.
Yeah, no problem, Meghna. We got it covered. All right. Hey, so I think there was a question around track point, touchpad. I tried to answer the touchpad in chat, but let me just touch it here. Track point we've not had for years. ClickPad move to touchpad has been an ongoing thing that we have done over the last 2 to 3 generations of products, where we first introduced touchpad on the high end of the Lati 9000 series and then have cascaded it down to the portfolio. Look, in any particular laptop design or product design, you have to make choices and you have to figure out how do you deliver the right experience while making the right trade-off decisions. And one of the trade-off decisions we made was to get into the mobility, thin and light and small form factors. We'll have to get out of ClickPads, but we made a decision on when touchpads become sort of more mainstream, deliver better experience. They're not quite at the level of ClickPads today, but they're very close. And that's how we've cascaded it through the portfolio. We're doing several things to continue to make that touchpad experience much more relevant and better going forward. We're investing in better, more robust touchpad designs, whether it's glass or glass-like materials that give you a better feel, whether it's the right mechanical structure around the touchpad so that you can get the right click feel as you use the touchpad, and finally moving into haptics and force pad. And you saw that with our XPS 13 Plus that was launched this year, where you have that seamless touchpad. We're trying to get into more haptics and force pad into our product line, so stay tuned for that. You have some feedback on function and control keys. We'll take that back to our keyboard layout. I can tell you, keyboard layout is one of those religious things. Everyone has a preference, and you have to make some trade-offs and decisions based on what we think our customers are telling us. So thank you for your feedback. We'll take your function and control key feedback back to our team. We'll go do the right research. And this is why we have these forums, right? As you guys are our community. Tell us what's working, what's not working, so we can go do the right work to look at it.
I think there was a question on when will team support be added to the collaboration trackpad that we have on the 9000 series as well in the chat. That we're working on that, working very closely with Microsoft on that. That is the vision, that is the plan, is that not just Teams, but even things like WebEx, etc. That or in the future we should be able to enable that as well.
Awesome.
Jack,
well,
what other
another
questions do we have?
So we've got one from Russell. Why is there not carbon fiber on the Latitude 743 with a touch screen? So it's a little bit of a loaded question.
Why is there not? Is the question the 7430? Why does it not have a carbon fiber and touch screen option?
Yes.
Is that the question? I don't think that should be the case. The 7430 has a touch screen option. If maybe, are you talking about the aluminum?
We might have tied the touch screen to the aluminum as an upsell option. versus having it in the base offer, but we can go look at it.
In the clamshell, no, that shouldn't be the case. If you're buying a 2-in-1, perhaps, but I think that should just be a matter of making sure that we're picking the right configuration. If you want to leave your contact information, we can get in touch with you and share with you where all the touchscreen is available with carbon fiber.
Thank you.
I'm looking for another question here. So a question that we had in chat is, what tools are offered as a part of the portfolio to have managing assets, network, and storage?
I think you'll need to help sort of clarify the question. It's not clear to me what you're asking. If you're asking, hey, how do you manage network and storage? Are you talking about IT tools? You're talking about how Dell Optimizer helps in this areas? I don't quite understand the assets piece of it. So help clarify your question, please, before we can answer that.
I'll keep an eye out in the chat for if that comes through. Other than that, someone wants to let you guys know they love the look of the XPS Plus 13-inch, and they hope that some of that comes over to the Precision line. So is there any insight there as far as looks within the Precision, or anything there?
Well, I think the way I would answer that is we certainly do user testing on things like the seamless ClickPad that Rahul was talking about, the edge-to-edge keyboard that we have in the XPS 13 Plus, and whether or not either of those, I'll call them improvements, are applicable to some of the workflows that our workstation users experience. They're two very, very different audiences, and one is definitely more design forward. So the XPS products are way more design forward, and Precision is certainly performance first. Functionality and performance are job one. But as Rahul mentioned at the start, a lot of those customers are also looking for sleeker, more aesthetically pleasing designs to carry as well. And so to the degree that we can meet the performance and function tenets of the workstation workflows, then yeah, certainly some of those new technologies or emerging technologies would make their way into Precision as well. Same with the with Laddie. When you think about the interactive trackpad, my 5470 that I'm using here, I mean, that's my daily driver, and I'm on Zoom calls and team calls like everybody else. And so is the utility of the technology actually applicable to the target market for the device? That's some of the conversation we have with our customers. So if you have specific feedback, I welcome it.
Okay, hey, I would just add one more thing to it, Tom. I think I'll take a approach from a portfolio standpoint. We always bring in great new technologies into our XPS lineup first, and sometimes into our Latitude 9000 lineup first. And then as we mature it, we cascade it in the portfolio. A great example of that is you guys have seen us invest in infinity bezels or very narrow bezels across our portfolio. They were first introduced in XPS probably about 6-7 years back. And then over the years, we have embraced them in the rest of our portfolio. We've embraced them not just in Latitude, in Precision, now in Rugged portfolio, in our Alienware portfolio. And the idea is very simple, is we want to land critical experiences that are very innovative, very cutting edge on XPS first and Latitude 9000 first, and then expand. So the answer is stay tuned.
Awesome, thank you. So before the event, we did ask on registration if people had any questions they wanted to ask off the bat, and we did get some interesting ones. So one of them that I personally would love to know the answer to is, what's Dell's vision on technology in the industry for the next 5 years?
Yeah, so I think it's a very broad question. So it can be answered many, many, many different ways. But 5 years at least puts a bound on it, right? And I think the way I would look at the next 5 years is we are all going to embrace new ways of working. We're on a journey here, and we're at the beginning stage of that journey, and we're trying to figure out the new normal, right? And the new normal is going to look different than what we have known pre-COVID and different than what we are seeing today, right? We're going to get to some sort of a state where, we will be working seamlessly from home, office, airport, client side, coffee shop, lunchroom on a very regular basis. And we want all of our technology to work seamlessly and come along with us in the simplest way possible. And so the industry is focused on delivering those kinds of experiences to the hybrid workforce in the next 5 years. So when I think about, the experiences we talked about, they're at their infancy. There's a lot of work to be done between us and our partners to really deliver a seamless experience wherever you're working from, such that technology just vanishes. That's my aim in life, is you shouldn't have to worry about the laptop or the camera or, do I have the right this or that widget or this tool. It should vanish. You should worry about what application you're going to use for what particular task, and is it working wherever you are in a seamless way. And that requires a lot of work from technology partners and leaders like us to make that happen. And so you will see a lot of great strides in that direction that we're making, that our partners are making, as we bring the industry along on this, really, really awesome time for PC technology. Tom, Meghna, anything you guys would like to add to that?
No, I think you nailed it. I think it's a tremendously exciting time, as I referenced just the amount of data that's out there, the increasing requirements for performance, increased connectivity, 5G, enhancements in Wi-Fi, so that we can keep people like Meghna on these calls longer, and you get to hear from the subject matter experts. It's just it changes every month, literally. It's very exciting. It makes our jobs a lot of fun.
I agree with everything you and Rahul said, Tom. The only thing I would add, and touche on the Wi-Fi comment, I would add the one thing that you will see as a trend that is here to stay and will continue to grow even stronger is on the sustainability piece. So, we are going to continue to make investments in that space. We've always been a leader. And when we talk about sustainability, we don't just mean materials and, recyclable content and things like that. We mean looking at everything from an end-to-end of the packaging to the product, to the energy use, to the carbon footprint, all the way to the take back and recycle programs. And that is a place that we will continue to invest in, because it's the right thing to do. And that's what our customers are asking for.
Wonderful. Thank you all. Like I said, I wanted to hear the answer to that one, so that's exciting for me. We did get a question in the Q&A from Lambert, and their question is, it's a little long-ended, but we've gotten some feedback from users that the laptop keyboards feel more like those small portable Logitech type keyboards. For example, the up and down keys being about the size of one key split in half, and having to use the function key for page up and down. The Latitude 9410 was an ideal keyboard. Will this continue to be the way for keyboard layout going forward?
I'll take that one. Hey, first of all, thank you so much for the feedback. We do continue every year. We do research and testing on all of our, user input devices, whether that's audio, video, whether that's a keyboard, whether that's ClickPad. And one of the things that we want to really be very careful about, especially in the commercial space, is making sure that our keyboard is highly productive. All of our keyboards, and then like Rahul was saying on the touchpad comment, we have to then make decisions about things like look and feel, battery life, thermals, as opposed to how much space we're going to dedicate to keyboard and trackpad. So that's one of the decisions that we will continue to take going forward. I would also say that we, on our larger 15-inch and above systems, you do get a bigger type of keyboard where you get a numpad and things like that. So, if that's a better option for you, I would encourage you to look there.
Awesome. Thank you. A lot more questions have come in the chat after that one. Like, is there any chance of getting a 10 key option on the Precision 5000 series?
I think
Sorry, if you're
Tom
going to read them off, I'm going to stop typing. I'll just wait for you to read them off. So look, we have the num key. I assume you're talking about the num key. We have the num key on 3. We have it on 7. Right now, there's literally no room to bring it in on 5. And back to the earlier conversation, job 1 for us is performance. And so when I think about 5000 series in a thin and light, being able to deliver that performance in the right footprint with, max CPU, max GPU, and deliver the acoustics that you want, the thermals that you want, the audio that you want out of the device, there's just no room. So right now, no plans to bring the num key into the 5000 series. When our phenomenal engineers figure out how to cram all of the other things that I talked about, deliver that performance that we were talking about in that package, we'll bring it up. But right now, no plans.
Awesome. Thank you. So we've got, one more question that was asked before the event that we really want to hear from all three of you. And that is, how did you become a part of Dell? How much time and effort does it take to be in the position that you guys are all in?
That again is a very loaded question. I can tell you, we do it because we have a passion for products and we have a passion for technology. I grew up as a product technologist. There was no choice but being an engineer. So I went to engineering school. There was no choice but to go work in an engineering firm. Started my work life at Advanced Micro Devices, working on chips and on the platform side, made my way to Dell here in Austin. And, I've spent 20 plus years in the technology business. And, I just love the pace of technology, the pace of innovation, and the incredible teams that we have that are working constantly to, revolutionize this space, right? And there couldn't be a better time. I mean, this is such an exciting time for technology. So many great things are happening, driven by how our customers are working, and some of the technology trends around artificial intelligence, machine learning, things are now finally feeling within reach what was science fiction only 20 years ago. And so I'm really excited about it. And so I wake and breathe this stuff and I love it. And so it doesn't bother me that my life and my work life is sort of, entrenched and, sort of mixed in all together. So let Tom and Meghna
I would
talk
say,
about their.
I would say, I'm a computer scientist by background. So definitely technology is something that I grew up with. But I also share, and I think that every good product person should share the love for how is the customer interacting and using with that technology. I mean, technology for the sake of technology, who cares about more cores or more, frequency or whatever, if it's not going to be of some use. So the thing that I find really, really exciting is how can I take that technology and make it something that resonates with customers and meet a need that our customers have. And that's what we spend all of our time thinking about here at Dell, whether it's consumer, commercial, any product. That's what it takes.
Yeah, I think the only piece I would add, and less about how I got here and the passion for product, and just more about the privilege of working at Dell. I've been in this industry for also for 20 plus years. It's probably more like 30 plus years. And I found my way to Dell 7 years ago through a colleague that I worked with at another company. Came down and interviewed, and my biggest regret is that I didn't find Dell sooner. I knew who they were. I just had never been on a Dell campus. But you think about the collaboration, you think about a collegial environment where folks are working towards more of a common good with a purpose. Rahul's team, I think, is 300 plus. And as Meghana said, all of us working together to really deliver a portfolio for our customers, be it commercial notebook, commercial desktop, professional workstation, rugged, consumer, and really thinking about it through the lens of how they're using the devices and how we can work together to bring that portfolio to life. Like it's energizing every day, not just because of what we do, but who we get to do it with. If you have the opportunity, give Dell a look. I'm having a ball.
Oh, awesome. Thank you all. We're right about a time. Are there any closing statements you guys would like to make?
I just wanted to close by, first, what a great engaging audience here. So many good questions, kept us on our toes. And the things that we didn't answer, Jack, let's capture that and see how we can answer some of those questions. Thank you all, not just for being our customers, but also being such enthusiastic supporters of Dell and the Dell client community. This is how we get better, right? Keep challenging us on keyboard layouts and click pads and ports and, why aren't you doing this or that? Because that's what makes us better. We want to hear from you guys. And so thank you for that engagement. Thank you for the time today. And hopefully you have a great week ahead of you, and stay engaged and keep raising your questions and concerns in the community so we can continue to get better for you guys.
Thank you.
Well, on behalf of the Dell client community, thank you three for being here. It means a lot for you to take time out of your day and do this, along with all the planning that went up to it. So truly, thank you for being here. I know everybody within the Dell client community really, really appreciates it. So like they said, if you have any questions, let us know at member services at Dell Client Community. We will get your questions answered. We'll also scrub everything from the log and within the Q&A so we can get every single question answered.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Jack. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks,
Bye.
everyone.
Bye-bye.